Today on the show, do self-help apps really do what they claim to do? Melbournians are overwhelmed with love when the Dog Lovers show hits the Royal Exhibition Hall. We catch up with the Trobe's Women's Football Club. And is there such thing as being too young to own a small business? Good afternoon, my name is Sasha Doherty.
And I'm Raquel Martins, and we're coming to you live from Trobe, Melbourne, and welcome to LTYou Radio.
And what's happening in the world today?
Israeli troops have shot dead dozens of Palestinians on the Gaza border as the United States opened its embassy in Jerusalem. The move has fueled Palestinian anger and drawn foreign criticism for undermining peace efforts. Protests along the Palestinian border have been going for about 6 weeks, but escalated on Monday night. Palestinian Health Ministry officials said at least 58 people were killed and more than 2,700 injured. Kensington Palace has asked for Meghan Markle's father to be given respect and understanding amid reports he has pulled out of attending his daughter's wedding to Prince Harry. Thomas Markle told entertainment website TMZ he made the choice to not attend the royal wedding after he staged a series of photos of himself for the event. He also told TMZ that he had suffered a heart attack last week, but legitimacy has been questioned after photos emerged of him in a fast food drive-thru just days after his alleged heart attack. It is still up in the air who will be walking Meghan down the aisle. Missing Cameroon athletes from the Commonwealth Games have been found in Sydney seeking asylum. A group of athletes who disappeared during last month's Commonwealth Games are reportedly seeking legal advice regarding staying in Australia. The 11 athletes and officials from 3 African nations have until midnight tonight to apply for protection, visas or risk detention. The Daily Telegraph has reported that the group are consulting with the Refugee Advice and Casework Service in the Sydney suburb of Randwick to determine if they can stay in the country. Georgina Downer, the daughter of one-time Liberal leader and Foreign Minister Alexander Downer, has been endorsed unopposed as the party's candidate for the upcoming Mayo federal by-election. Ms Downer confirmed she was seeking pre-selection last week after the incumbent Rebecca Sharkey announced her resignation. Ms Downer's pre-selection comes at a time when the underrepresentation of women in the ranks of Liberal MPs is under close scrutiny.
Wow, a lot happening obviously today as per normal, but I'd like to talk about what's happening in Gaza at the moment overseas due to the United States Embassy being opened. I just think that, to be honest, is something that's really going to open up another can of worms over there that they don't need.
Yep, definitely. I think it's something that could have been avoided too. Moving the embassy, and I'm sure they would have known that they would have been, a bit of upset when they did that.
It's picking a side, I think, is the way I see it. And I think a lot of the world will see that. And, it's not just having an argument now, it's people dying. And it's dying from a direct decision, from Trump's people and himself, and the government is just needing to take some ownership on that.
They definitely are.
Going now to something a little bit more light-hearted, but also serious if you're Meghan Markle's father. What's going on with that guy?
I'm not sure. I mean, he said he had a heart attack, I think they were saying last week. TMZ reported he told them, but then...
Legitimate source, TMZ, isn't it?
Oh, I know. But as they said, they've seen photos now of him at a fast food chain drive-thru, just a few days after he supposedly had that heart attack. So... is he coming? Is he not?
I think it's just him possibly trying to make a quick buck, unfortunately, off his daughter. I'm assuming things like that happen all the time when people become famous and they have a strange family, but also now she's entwined into the royal family, so this sort of stuff is not considered appropriate.
Yeah. Well, it'll be a hard situation for her to be in if she was looking forward to having her dad walking her down that aisle, and now to have him just a few days before the wedding pull out, it'd be pretty hard for her to, I'd assume she's still pretty new to the publicity surrounding the royal family.
Absolutely.
So, it's a hard one for her to
What is it without a bit of drama in the royals?
Exactly.
I mean, they need to keep that going at least for another few years.
Yeah.
Then more elections coming up.
I know. It feels like we're constantly just in a cycle of elections.
Hey, if someone's not a different citizen, then what is it these days?
Yeah.
And also with this, obviously, the by-election in Mayo is a big seat to win. With Georgina's got a good name behind her because her dad obviously has a lot of experience, and the name Downer is just in politics forever in history. So it'll be interesting to see how she polls.
Definitely. It'll be interesting to see if, what the comments come out if people are thinking, we're not going to give her a go because she's already got a leg in the door, or if they liked him.
Yeah, I want to know how much experience she's had. I don't know a lot about her, but it'd be good to see what happens in that particular seat.
Definitely.
But also with the government at the moment, just constantly back and forth infighting, and also the usual budget claiming, heads on Scott Morrison. And there's lots to talk about in that, but also we've got to talk about the fact that none of us have really had a holiday since... Well, not long enough, actually. It's been a fairly decent amount of time, and it's about time that we live up to our New Year's resolutions. I don't know if you had any, but mine was, as everyone's is, to get fit. And it's time that we pay attention to what we eat. But where do we start? So that's where you think there are plenty of apps to help us out. And personally, I've got a few. But what self-help apps do work, and what kind of research are they basing their information on? And should you really be using these apps? Let's find out.
Most of the smartphone users tend to have at least one health and wellness app on their mobile phone. But does it really work, is our question. Some believe they do, while others think that it is a complete waste of money and fake apps where they cause no results. Health, wellness and fitness apps are used to keep a track of what we normally do in our day-to-day activities. To work out, to track calories, as well as to inspire yourself. Apps that claim to treat everything from pimples to depression appeal to the anxiety many of us harbor about our health. But how trustworthy are they? And what's the evidence behind their effectiveness? Mobile apps offer a wide range of potential medical and health-related uses. They are a part of consumer phenomenon which has rapid uptake and evolution of mobile hardware and software. Market estimates suggest that almost 500 million smartphone users worldwide use a health or wellness app, a figure that is set to treble in the next 3 years. Evidence for the effectiveness of apps to help people get fit and lose weight are mixed. In one study, overweight people using mobile app were more engaged and lost slightly more weight than people using a website or a paper diary to chronicle their diet and exercise. Another found those using an app reported more physical activity than non-app users over a 6 month period, while other research concluded an app was unlikely to produce substantial weight change for most patients. Associate Professor Carol Ma, a researcher in mobile health apps from the University of South Australia, says there's a few basic principles people can follow when choosing which health app to download. Companies like Apple with Apple Watch and Apple Kit, and IBM with its Under Armour partnership taking TED in high tech. MyFitnessPal, the popular calorie monitoring app, was tested for 6 months and has made no difference to the weight of the participants. But some disagree.
I lost 10 kilos using MyFitnessPal app. I love it. I mean, you have to be honest to the app. You can't just eat deep-fried Mars bars all day and then pretend that didn't happen. You have to put it in there, but it works.
1 in 4 adults reported using at least one or more health and wellness app on their mobile phone, while a third of physicians have recommended an app for a patient. Some tend to believe that these apps really do work, while others think that it has no impact at all.
Doctors are overwhelmed by the sheer number of apps that are available out there, and it's hard for them to find which ones are good and which ones are not.
As apps offering monitoring and self-management functions become commonplace, the opportunities for collecting and sharing personal and health-related information will grow. These changes bring potential clinical benefits but also expose new risks. Nuantine reporting, LTYou.
Are you guilty of having apps that
I do.
You have for fitness?
I have had a few in the past. I just got a new phone, so
Yeah.
I didn't bring them over when I got my new phone. I thought I don't really use them all the time. I mean, Samsung comes with, they've got like a Samsung Health app.
Ah, yes,
so
specialised.
that's sort of built into the phone, and that like tracks your steps. And you can put in your water intake and all that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
I find that I don't really use it, like, as much as I want to track, you know, how much water I have and what I'm eating. There's just not really that much time to stop, and every time you put something in your mouth, go, okay, pop this in. Yeah. So, you know, I guess there might be people that do.
Yeah, look, I think having the Fitbits and the Apple Watches and things like that might make it a little bit simpler. It seems they seem to be more popular as well for fitness people. But I think I've tried so many, but I get to the point where you try it for a bit, you get really into it, and then you forget about it, or you stop exercising, or something comes up, and I don't find them any more helpful than going to the gym on my own accord.
Yeah.
But I know that some people do swear by them as well, so...
I guess it's just a give or take, the type of person you are, what you want to get out of the apps. So, I guess depending what type of app you're getting as well, because there's so many different, you know, not just sort of fitness apps, but health apps and wellness apps. Like I had a few yoga apps on there last year, just to, you know, I don't really know many yoga poses off the top of my head. So I just thought it'd be a good way to help me de-stress, because I was really stressed with, you know, uni assignments and that sort of thing. But again, after I sort of got over that period of stress, I didn't really use them again.
Yeah, I think that's what you've got to take out of them as well. You know, I'm sure they are made and realise that people will use them for a certain amount of time, and then they're going to have their diehard sort of supporters. And I think it's really great, especially for us being students, that you can download these apps for free.
Definitely.
And then you get the knowledge and you get taught how to do things, so you can sort of take bits and pieces away from it, which is a bonus. And obviously if you're really into it, you start buying bits and pieces from those apps. But I know a big one is Strava. A lot of people use that for running, and they mark where they've been, and you can follow. I was personally a bit worried about the danger of people knowing where you were as well. Going. But also if you get lost, bonus.
At least you know how to get back. Well, like the Samsung app does that as well, and when I go for bike rides, I like to sort of track how far I've gone and the speed and all that sort of thing. But it is, that thought always is in the back of your mind. What if someone can, you know, hack into it and see where you're going, and if you're doing that same route over and over again, they can see that too.
And what if they're giving you the incorrect information? So there's the other health factor there. So you're being told to do a certain thing that might not be as good for you as you think it is.
Well, you don't have that personal one-on-one, you know, it's just a generic, this is what's good for you.
It's not a nutritionist, it's not a dietitian.
Yeah, you might have an injury that you really shouldn't be doing that particular exercise with.
Absolutely.
So you've got to take all those things into account, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And tweet us if there's any that you really love at LTYou Radio. Just give us, let us know, because there's obviously we like to try new things as well, and we've got people that like to road test things here, so give us a tweet.
Fantastic. Well, we will be talking about having a bit more of a discussion about all the health apps that are out there later on in the show, so let us know what you're thinking and join in the discussion. Now, I think I can speak for everyone when I say that dogs aren't just pets. They're family, they're, you know, they're like a second or third or fourth child. Fur babies, exactly. And there's no way to explain just how much joy and happiness they bring to our lives. And as a tribute to our love for dogs, the Royal Exhibition Building hosts one of the largest collections of lovable companions, the Dog Lovers Show.
Hello everyone, we're here with Rachel from the Morning Journal. We're about to go into the Dog Lovers Show. As you can see, we are very excited, and we're hoping to pet lots of cute dogs, lots of fluffy dogs, and we're hoping to get some freebies as well. So let's suss this out and see if it's worth your money. Every year, the Royal Exhibition Centre hosts the Dog Lovers Show, where thousands of dog lovers gather to celebrate everything about our best friends. For $27.50, you get access to everything that's within. From amazing dog shows,
Be good dogs. This is Ricky Mouse. He's in the house. Come on, Kiwis, cheer it on. And
celebrity talks.
Now, already worldly travelled, so you've got to be in California, is that
Oh,
right?
he's been all over the States with me touring around.
Free show bags. And of course, hundreds of beautiful dogs of all shapes and sizes that are waiting for a cuddle. So we've just left the dog show. I really liked it. What did you think of it?
I'm a cat person. I did not see a single cat. Yeah, I know.
Well, great success. We got heaps of freebies.
You got to see the Dulux dog.
The what?
The Dulux dog, you know the dog from the paint commercial? That last one, the big fluffy one.
True. Yeah. Oh my god, it was so fluffy.
Is that the best assignment you've been on yet?
Yeah. I was like crying every time. I'm like, oh, so cute. I was just way overwhelmed.
Yeah. Did you just pocket a dog on your way out?
No. I should have. I know. There was this like the cutest little sausage dog, like a little puppy, and he was like this big. I reckon I could have snuck that out.
How was the show on a grand scale?
Yeah, look, there was so many activities. There was a dog show, like the actual show where they do the jumping and stuff, which is so cool. Like, it's actually really impressive what they do. And they also have like where they train them and they get them to do like tricks and stuff. Wow. They have an Instagram dog competition, which was really funny as well. Yeah. And yeah, as I said on the package, celebrity talks. There was activities for the kids. There was food, and then of course there was all the stands where you could get different things for your dogs. There was dog ties, and then there's also the like they teach you about health and the food and blah blah blah. So it's all there's a lot in there.
So it sounds like it's worth the money.
Yeah, look, it's I think the prices vary depending on where you buy them, but like they vary a lot. I saw them online and they actually were half of the price that they were when you arrive there. Right. When you arrive there, I think it's like around $40 for an adult. So it is quite expensive in my opinion, especially if you're a student on a budget. If you really want to go, I do recommend that you jump online and buy those tickets there. But look, going in, you do get a lot of free things. You have to line up. I will have to say that. I had to line up for like 40 minutes. But it ends up being worth it because the freebies that you get there's a lot in there. You get the dog food, you get treats, you get like a leash, toys.
Yeah, well, a lot of that stuff would cost $40 on its own.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're willing to line up, and then it'll be worth your money. And
it's once a year, so you sort of know when it's coming. You save your money,
and you get to pat like all these fluffy dogs as well. So. And
do you have a dog yourself, Paula?
Yeah, I do.
What
She's
sort
a
of
little
dog
Jack
have you got?
Russell. Oh, I hate her.
You hate her.
So annoying. Nah, she's cute though.
Is that so obviously not your favourite breed of dog then?
No, my mum just rescued her.
Yeah.
And then we can't get another dog because she hates other dogs. So now we're
that seems like a common theme with Jack Russells though, unfortunately.
So I just all I wanted in life was just like a cute little fluffy thing. When I move out, I can get one. No, but she's actually really cute. She's got a fun personality.
Yeah, so definitely part of the family.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we love her. And I did bring her heaps of treats, so I'm the favourite now.
What's her name?
Mona.
Mona.
From Ramona.
That's awesome. What was the least favourite part of the dog show though?
I don't know. Yeah, nothing. I think...
Wait, was it having James, the cat lover, there?
Yeah, he was moaning the whole time because he wanted to see cats. No, he wasn't. Nah, honestly, it was such a fun day.
Yeah.
And it's worth it to just go there for the whole day. You can have a meal there and do some activities, watch a show, and then and then just go.
And do you have to, with the shows, was there a lot of seating or standing space available to watch them, or did you have to kind of...
Yeah, not too much. Usually there was just people gathering around. Like, there was a bit of seating, and then because it's 2 levels, there was a lot of people on the top level that were looking down, and they had a really good view. But yeah, not too much. It did take up a lot of the space though, of the whole exhibition centre.
Any really strange dogs that you'd never seen before?
Yeah, there was a few. They had like these really unique breeds where they're like breeders, and these like weird ass dogs that I'm like, is that even a dog? Yeah,
It's a small rat.
Yeah, yeah. And then there were ones that they like shaved them really weird. So like the top of the tail, like it was like the tail was shaved, and then just the top of it was like hairy. So it's just like. Really...
I think when I went last time, they had like a dog salon. Was that still there?
I didn't see one.
They had like this dog like hair cutting salon, which I thought was hilarious.
Really?
Oh my god!
Can you bring your own dog into the show, or is it?
Yeah, you can. You do have to go through. It's a bit of a process because they obviously don't want dogs, barking at each other, and they have to be obviously toilet trained. So
Mona wouldn't be able to come in by the
no, 100% no. But I think if your dog is well trained and like gets along well with other dogs, then that should be fine. And the dogs that were there on like displays for people to see, they were so chill. Like everyone was just like groping them pretty much.
Yeah, they looked like they were really calm.
They were so chill. They just were loving it. Yeah.
Relaxing, enjoying the patting.
Yeah. So cute.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, thank you for that. It sounds like it wasn't hard to send you there at all.
No. It is over now, but it's on every year and during May. So be sure to get your tickets online if you do go next year.
Absolutely. Now, have you ever thought of a great idea for a small business, maybe a dog salon? You never know. But have you been held back because you thought it might have been too hard, too young to get started? LARA DEBUS, only in her 20s, is diving deep in and opening a cafe in Brunswick, Melbourne. Let's see what she has to say about that.
Maybe we should put $1 in the jar. Prime the pump. What are we, a piano bar?
Small businesses are the heartbeat of the Australian economy, with over 2.1 million nationwide. I spoke to LARA DEBUS, who is soon to open her first small business, a cafe in Brunswick, Victoria.
I am probably of the generation that you don't really stay in a job longer than maybe like 3 to 5 years, along with my dad to possibly use the downstairs space of his townhouse in Brunswick as a cafe. Probably about 3 years ago, we decided to talk about it. Made plans, quit my job. I then took a hospitality job, so I was a waitress for a friend for a fair few months. We knew that it would be a year of me sort of working in hospitality again. I really didn't want to just be one of these people who decides that opening up a cafe sounds really interesting and fun and what a cool, trendy, hipster thing to do. I did want to have some basis and knew that this was something that we wanted to before we put in all our money. Long story short, we were meant to have our builders in about June 2017, open up November 2017. It's now May 2018, and we're still in a bit of a work site downstairs. Nothing's finished, so I think about it all the time. The staff that I've hired and hired for opening in November, and they've been so good at keeping in touch, making sure that they've got employment still, but they're still willing to come on board. I'm just really looking forward to sort of building a business with them too, that they're almost just as much a part of it as building it as I am.
So, does politics play much of a role when having a small business?
It's certainly not something that gets people excited when they're like, oh man, I'm going to open up a small business and there's going to be all this great funding. It's not something that I thought about. And I did look into. We're in a fortunate position that we probably didn't need it. I do know that there are several requirements for getting funding.
What do they offer?
There are information days, there's extra training if you'd like in sort of things around the tax and point of sale, and just even training with staff that you can do. There are long waiting lists, so I've sort of tried my best to get in to a few of those workshops, I guess, but haven't been successful.
With a cafe in Northcote in trouble for underpaying staff, how difficult is the wage side of a business?
You definitely ask people what their expectations are in terms of what their pay is. That's probably one of the first questions I ask somebody when I'm interviewing them, and have done. And I think that in hospitality, it's one of those really hard things. I mean, the government doesn't make it easy for people to run a small business and pay people super and make sure that you're paying the right amount of tax for them, and not just paying them cash in their hand. You know, you want them to sort of have this, this job that they're really, really proud of and really great, but then, you know, to have a bit of something left over at the end for themselves. And it's very hard to have the staff that you need, keeping your prices competitive with, especially in a place like Brunswick, there's lots of different places, and then to just continue to pay the bills, really. It's certainly not an easy task to do. So I do know in hospitality there's a lot of people sort of just going for the quick cash jobs. But luckily, I think with all these things being brought up, that more people are being paid what they're worth, and being looked after in terms of their super.
We have LARA DEBUS on the panel with us. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me, guys.
So tell us, because I mean, obviously you did in the package, but what is the hardest thing about starting a small business?
Everything is really difficult. Everything is just, nothing's easy. There's no sort of online website of how to start a business. Here's your first steps. Because they're all so different. And in hospitality, I think that there's a lot of people putting in their 2 cents and you're not quite sure where to start. So it's really, the hardest bit is planning, and then also realising that your entire life's going to change, pretty much every aspect of it. So yeah.
From day one.
From day one. I mean, I've been thinking about it maybe for 3 years to start something, and then it sort of just hits you all at once, right at the very end. So I think being prepared, reading, researching, finding the best resources for you, that's probably the hardest thing, I reckon.
Yeah. Because there's so much out there, but what is the right thing?
Yeah, and what's going to work for you, and what do you understand?
And how much time do you think you've been spending sort of week to week, day to day, thinking about it and working on opening up the cafe?
God, I wake up at 3:30 in the morning and panic about something and make a note, of something I need to do or something I've just thought of. It's definitely constantly in the back of my mind, especially in hospitality. I'm going out and eating all the time, so I'm thinking about it then. I don't really relax too much ever. So I guess you'll have your down days where you have given other people the responsibilities for the day, whether that's your builder, your surveyor, or you may have hired a chef or something like that, and it's their responsibilities, and you sort of take a step back for a moment and look after yourself. But generally every day you're thinking about something.
In regards to the cafe and that particular industry, were there fees and things you didn't know about before you started that you were like, what the?
Yeah, a huge amount. I think the main ones that so far I've noticed is when you're getting a planning permit or a building permit, maybe this is slightly different if you're sort of moving into an established hospitality business already, but we are starting from scratch. We're moving from a residential property into a commercial, and luckily we didn't have to change the zones. But I think mainly the building side of the fees that you need to pay are just exorbitant, huge. I think that the building industry, especially, will. Maybe a lot of people will try to take advantage. If you've never done this before, you don't know what you're looking for, and you're being told by council, this is a piece of paper you need, now go out and get it, and you're paying thousands of dollars for somebody, to write a little report. Yeah.
Wow. So do you think it's any more difficult doing it now when you're younger or when you're older, or do you think, it'd be the same scenario? Do you get patronised a lot because you're younger than maybe, say, other people that come in wanting permits and things like that?
It's really funny. I think, yes. I think for certain people you speak to, yes. But then I also think on the flip side, maybe younger people, especially myself, I'm quite okay with going out and asking a question and not feeling foolish about it, of just, this is what I need, can you help me with that? And maybe being a younger person, people are really eager to help. So definitely speaking to people, you're getting a lot of good advice, and they're really, really trying to motivate you and give you that information. But I have been patronised. I don't know whether or not that's because I'm young or because I'm a woman. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be either or.
To be honest.
And that's throughout the entire industry, like builders, council people?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The council have been great in some respects, but there's a lot of miscommunication when they're not quite sure what you know. You don't know what you need to know in order to get, what they require for you to open, and there's not a lot of it's not easy to discuss and get a clear answer. It's just really frustrating. Yeah.
Do you think working in the industry beforehand has been something that's really helped you out? And obviously going to cafes, you'd be looking at things going, ooh, something like that would be good. Yeah. Do you think that's really helped you sort of shape what you're doing and what you're creating?
Absolutely. I didn't actually have a lot of experience in the industry. I worked in finance for a lot of my 20s, and only recently gone in and learned how to serve tables, serve people, and make coffee. So, that's primarily what the business is going to be, and I've only just really learned that. So I think working in that industry, you're speaking with a lot of different types of people. There's a lot of turnover with the businesses you work in. So also getting their ideas and seeing how different people work then means that I can adjust how I want to work, but also have a look at for my staff when hiring the type of people that I want. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of competition in the industry, and obviously in Brunswick itself. How important is it to find a niche, or what's your lucky thing that you've got? Obviously location.
Location, 100%. We're very, very lucky with the location. And I also think that yes, there is a competition, and it's so high density when it comes to the businesses that are there. I'm surrounded already, and we are the new kids on the block. And I think location's pretty big, but then also deciding that you don't have to just keep up. You're gonna sort of change something, do something slightly easier for you that you're good at, and also I think thinking about it and talking, constantly about how it's always on my mind. I think that being able to adapt, because there are going to be new businesses after me as well.
Yeah, for sure.
You're going to have to really adapt and talk to people and see what they want.
Also going by people in our generation, we no longer really have the one job our whole lives like, say, our parents did. Is that something that concerns you when you're starting a business, that one day you're going to go, oh, maybe I want to do something else now?
Yeah, I've changed what I've done a million times. I was a chef, I worked in sales, I worked in community development for a little while, I've worked overseas, then worked in finance, and now I'm finding myself a business owner. So, I'm already thinking about the next business that I'll open. Yeah. This is a 3-year thing for me that I hopefully will sell and move on and sort of start to change what I want to do.
Sounds like a quite inspiring process, even at the tough times, though.
Yeah, the person I worked for in the cafe I worked for last year, he was a younger gentleman as well, and he only opened up 5 months before I started working there. And it's a constant movement that's really inspiring, and the motivation that you have to just keep going. I mean, there is a daily grind to owning a business, absolutely. Yeah. There's all the backroom stuff that you have to think about, but it is for a purpose. Yeah. And you can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Awesome. Yeah, what are the top 5 tips for people like us that maybe want to open a business but can't take the plunge? But tell us more.
Plan. And actually write down a plan so you're very, very focused, because it's very easy to have people in your ear going, oh, why don't you try this? Why don't you have a look at this? Hey, I heard about this. Yeah. But work out what's best for you. Decide what type of management you want to be in the business, and realise that you're going to have to give up some responsibilities to other people, because otherwise you're just going to burn out. Yeah. I think, great one. Yeah, another thing would be, it's going to change your entire life. Yeah. I mean, relationships with family, friends, partners, whoever. It's a strain on a lot of things. So work out, what you want as a priority for yourself, and realise that you're going to miss out on stuff. You're just going to miss out on stuff. Yeah. Also, talk to council, talk to local governments. There are plenty of seminars, information days, workshops for small businesses. They do try and give as much as possible. Cool. Just get in there really, really early, because there are a lot of wait lists for things like that. Yeah. And I don't know, think outside of the box. I mean, look at some small businesses, have a chat to people, but think outside the box, because you definitely do need to stand out, because I think Melbourne's just one of those places, especially with hospitality. Yeah, absolutely. You do have to be a bit different.
And before you go, plug your cafe. When?
It's in Brunswick. It's opposite Jewel Station, opposite Platform 1 there. We should be opening, fingers crossed, by end of June.
And what's the official name?
Jewel and Wilson.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your insight today. It's been wonderful.
You're welcome.
Now, speaking about women doing amazing things like opening up their own cafes, the Women's Australian Football League is exploding in popularity. Yes. There is no better time to join Trobe's very own women's football club, and who better to send to play some Aussie footy than our very own Danish exchange student, Astrid.
Can't wait.
Parade College, and we're just about to start footy training. I've heard it's one of the main sports in Australia, so I'm really excited. I've played soccer for 8 years, but I've never done anything like this. I can see there's a lot of people showing up right now, and I think we're just about to start. Let's see how we go.
Footy is pretty much you've got the ball, and the aim of the game is to get the ball into the goal. So you've got 4 goal posts, and you have to get 6 points, you have to kick it through the middle. So I guess the scoring is a little bit different to soccer, but it's really the same. You've got a team, it's not an individual effort, it's a team, and you're all working to achieve the same goal.
I'm Kate. I'm the senior women's captain here at Trobe. I've played this is my 4th season. We've got girls who have played 7, 8 years, and we've actually got a girl who's from Sweden, exchange, she's here for 6 months, she's playing. She loves it. So we just encourage anyone who wants to learn. We don't judge anyone for not being very good. We're very accepting. So if you're here with the right attitude, I think you'll enjoy it, whether you know all the rules or you don't know anything.
We call ourselves the country club in the city, so what that means, a lot of players live on college, they're from the country, so they come down here to live and play footy.
For girls or anyone who haven't played the sport before, just kind of the basic skills, but I guess that's the same with everything. Practice makes perfect. Getting your head around all the positions and that sort of thing. Like I said, if you haven't grown up with the sport, it could take a while.
So we just finished, and I'm really surprised how funny footy is. You know, we have soccer, but it's only kicking. Here you have the handballing as well, which is really nice. Yeah, all good now. Didn't break anything.
Well, we have the lovely Caitlin joining us from the Trobe women's football team. Thanks for coming onto the show today.
No worries.
So tell us a bit more about your journey with AFLW and your time playing footy.
So I started playing footy when I was back at home because I'm from the country, and then I moved to go to Trobe last year and saw the team. Went, why not just keep playing? And I've played this is my 2nd year playing now.
Beautiful. And what's your experience been like with the Trobe team?
They're all really welcoming and very kind, and they're happy to have a chat with you about anything, even if it's not about footy, see how you're going at uni. And then they can help you with the skills, if you're not used to footy, they're happy to teach you and just have a good time.
Yeah, nice. What position are you playing at the moment?
I play centre-half forward.
Nice. Getting the goals this year?
No, I've been kicking it too much to the full forward, I think.
Yeah. What is, in 5 words, for people like Astrid or anyone else that doesn't know AFL, can you describe the sport?
I'd say it's a lot of kicking, tackling, handballing, marking, and just fun.
Just physical fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. What's the main objective of the AFL club at Trobe? You sort of touched on the fact that it's not just about footy. So is it competitive and fun, or is it one or the other? Or?
It's both at the same time. We have the reserves team, so you're just looking to develop your skills a bit more. And then the seniors team is a little bit more serious, but we're still happy to have a good time.
And who do you usually play against? Is it other universities or?
It's mainly suburbs around the area. Okay. So Bundoora and Greensborough.
Yeah. And what league is it?
So the senior women's are in Div 2
Yep.
of NFL, and
NFL,
the reserves are Div 3 of NFL, and then the boys teams are in the FAFA.
Yeah, nice one. How many? So there's reserves and then Prems. So 2 teams at the moment.
Yeah, 2 teams for both the women's and the men's.
Yeah, cool.
And the University Nationals are coming up. I know La Trobe hasn't sent a team over before, but are you guys looking to send over a women's team to the Nationals this year?
Yeah, so we're in Div 1, and that's in September in the mid-semester break. So we're looking to send a team of girls. It doesn't matter if you don't play for La Trobe, like on the weekend.
Yeah.
We're happy to have anyone. Just looking to have a bit of fun up in like the Gold Coast.
Nice.
Meet some new people.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to reach out to people out there that want to join, how would they get in contact with you?
Oh, that's a good question. So our team manager's name is Natasha Simmons, or if you get in contact with like the sports centre at La Trobe, then they can pass on the contact details.
Cool. Beautiful. Is there any social media like Facebook or anything you guys have at the moment? Or?
Not really, no. It's all a bit private.
Yeah, cool. With the game itself, how often do you train? Is it something that is a serious you got to turn up or you won't get a game type thing?
So we train Mondays and Wednesdays, and then we play Sundays. So it's expected that you train at least once a week, kind of thing. But like, of course, you have your reasons when you can't turn up.
Yeah, absolutely. With the women's football, obviously second season of AFLW this year, earlier in the year, did you notice a spike in club people joining or?
Yeah, so last year when I joined, there was so many new people, like everyone had to learn everyone's names because it was majority like new players.
Yeah.
Because like, of course, going to like La Trobe as well, it's more a university team, so every 3 years there's like people
that's a great point.
kind of thing.
Turnover.
Yeah.
Big turnover. And does it, what am I trying to say here? With the women, also, there's been a bit of controversy lately with whether or not they can play the same rules as the men, and is there any sort of different changes in the game currently for you?
It's mostly the same as the men, except like the games are shorter.
Yeah.
Our quarters are 20 minutes, so that's longer than AFLW, which only play 15.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have like a smaller ball, which is fair enough because we don't have as big a hands.
Yeah. Yep.
And the ball's a bit hard to kick if it's the men's size.
Absolutely.
If people want to come down and support you guys and watch the games, what times and days can they usually catch?
So we play on Sundays. The reserves normally play at 1 o'clock, and then we play at 3 o'clock. So the fixtures up on the NFL website that we play on, and they can see where the map is of the game.
Yeah,
and everything
nice.
like that.
And how is the team going on the ladder at the moment?
We're third or fourth at the moment. We've lost twice, and we've won probably about 4 times now, so we're just all gelling together, so it's going to be a good season.
Doesn't it? Is that something that you guys have been in the finals the last couple of times, or is it?
Last year we weren't in the finals, unfortunately, but hopefully this year we can get in the position.
Absolutely. Well, we hope you do. Just before we go, any tips for people that have never played, want to play but are a bit nervous about picking up a footy for the first time?
Yeah, don't be nervous. Everyone has to start somewhere, and everyone at La Trobe is just so happy to meet new people, and you can just come down and have a go. And you saw on the package, everyone's happy to show you how to kick and handball.
Wonderful.
And how did Ashgrid go? Did you get to help her out a bit at?
I saw her out the corner of my eye.
Yeah. Oh, look, she looks like she had a great time.
She did.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Caitlin, for joining us. Really appreciate it. Hopefully we get you a few more players for the uni championships.
Yeah, especially.
Thank you.
So earlier we asked your opinion about our self-help apps, about all our health and wellness and your fitness, and a lot of people are showing concern with the lack of medical and professional backing for these apps. Do they actually help? Are we paying for a placebo effect that doesn't even work? We advocate for them, but then you've got others that are kind of I kind of use it, but...
It's funny, with those watches especially, I've had a couple of my friends that they get told that they've been sitting down too long. So, better stand up. I don't know how I feel about being told by technology what I need to do, but hey, if it gets people moving, I guess that's a bonus.
Well, I guess that we are in the middle of a bit of an obesity crisis in Australia. So I guess having, you know, apps that do tell us, hey, you've been sitting down a bit too long, maybe stop the Netflix binge and, you know, get up and have a bit of a walk. It might be a good thing. And, you know, there's even now on Netflix, I know if you've been sitting there watching for too long, it will tell you, are you still watching?
Oh, really?
When I used to play Wii, when we first got it, when I was little, it actually tells you when you've been playing for sort of like an hour, it brings up a little message and says, oh, you should get outside and get some fresh air before you continue playing.
Is that to cover themselves from any...
Yeah, I guess that's sort of to help them. But I guess it's all these little things in technology now trying to keep people active and fit.
Yeah.
Little reminders on your phone. You can set reminders to tell you to drink water and to get up and walk and that sort of thing. So,
which is good and bad, I think. I mean...
we should be able to do it without the help of technology, I think.
Without someone telling us.
Yeah.
But some people just aren't capable, unfortunately.
No.
Now,
we do have some tweets coming through as well. So have a read of those.
I have friends that use a period tracker as a contraception. Makes me a little concerned. Well, that would make me concerned as well.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Not that foolproof, guys.
I mean, tracking your period's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Having apps that track that, you can pick up on things that might be changing, but I don't know about using it as contraception. There's better ways of doing that.
Yeah, like actually medical professional things to do. But like, well done. Thanks for tweeting us. Appreciate it. I do use that period tracker, but I forget, and then I just get a surprise. So
hey.
Too much information. Sorry, everyone. The other app that I've been loving and is a bit more interesting is the Headspace. So that's more the meditation.
Yeah.
I find that one really useful,
That's been
especially
really good.
coming up with exams. We'll probably look at that next week about, how you can chill your mind out before
relax
you
a little bit.
study. Health apps are just give me a sense of achievement.
That's true. My phone does buzz at me when I've reached my steps for the day. So that's always really nice.
Gives you a thumbs up.
I've done my steps today. I can sit down now and not do anything else.
Maybe I should look into that. I feel like I need a little bit more of a pep talk from my phone.
Apple would have their own version of.
Yeah, I do look
Samsung
about
Health.
when how many flights of stairs I've technically
cool.
climbed. They tell me that.
That'd be really cool to see.
So it tells me if I've had a busy day. Any more tweets coming through? I mean, the other thing to think about with technology is obviously it's getting more and more complicated. So I was looking at Google have now released their own sort of version of Siri. And I was listening the other day, there's a phone call you can do and it actually emulates a real person's voice. It's no longer the electronic sounding person. It sounds like a real person. They actually have the inflections that go off the other person on the end of the phone.
Wow.
So maybe that's something we could look at through a technology package or something next week. But do remember that, if you do want to tweet us, it's at LTYou Radio. And we do love to get interesting texts like the ones we've just had today.
Yeah. So do get on to us, guys. Remember to use the hashtag. We'd love to hear from you about what you want us to talk about, what you want us to go out and investigate in and around Melbourne. This show is for you. So let us know what you're thinking, what you'd like us to get on and discover.
Can we I really want to talk about the royal wedding. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's happening, guys. We need to be realistic about this.
It is. It's next week, I believe.
It's Saturday night.
I'm sure there'll be coverage on all the news stations.
Yeah, I guarantee it's on live.
Yeah.
Are you going to be watching it?
Look, I don't know. Probably not. I mean, it's likely that if I'm watching TV on Saturday, I'll come across it and, be bound to sit there and, I'd like to see what dress she's wearing. It's always nice to see that, but to sit there for the full ceremony, and I don't think, that's their special day. I'll let them enjoy it. With
televise it to everyone else.
Yeah, everyone else around the world can watch it. I'll give them that privacy.
Oh, look, I think it's one of those people are having parties, they're celebrating.
Yeah.
There's actually events on around the country to promote it.
Well, from memory, when Kate and William got married, they had, mugs and they had all this merch around the royal wedding that you could go out and buy, and it just...
That's still happening, absolutely.
Do people actually, what do you do with a Kate and Will mug?
Or what? Harry and Meghan.
Yeah, like what do you do with that stuff?
I have no idea. I did see that people had made bathing suits with their faces on it, one pieces.
That's interesting.
That's pretty funny. But
definitely have to go get myself one of those, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we've had a wonderful show today.
We have.
Love the Dog Lovers package. I should have brought my dog in.
You should have. What's your dog's name?
Leroy.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
should have brought
cute.
Leroy in. But we've always, here to talk about anything. So if you guys have any story ideas you want us to cover, shoot us an email or
Definitely.
a tweet because we will go the extra mile for you.
We will. We have a few interesting stories coming up for you next week as well. We'll be looking into a few more clubs with Astrid, so we'll get to see what she gets up to next week.
Yeah.
Which will be lots of fun. It's always interesting seeing, hearing about her experiences. I know with the footy club, she was talking about how she overseas they've only got soccer. They obviously don't have football. So her take on that was really interesting to see her getting used to kicking that ball. We had a few takes of her catching the ball and handballing. So it'll be good to see what she gets up to next week. We're going to try and explore the emergency dogs as well. There's a bit going on at the moment with they're trialling having dogs in the emergency department. So I think that'll be a really good experience for people that are in emergency, having those therapy dogs there to make the experience a bit easier.
Idea. I'd like to see the data behind if it's actually making a difference or not, but that's something I guess we'll find out next week. Did you want to just run us through the headlines again?
Definitely,
because
I think
just before we go, we'll let everyone know what's happening in the world.
Israeli troops have shot dead dozens of Palestinians on the Gaza border as the United States Embassy has opened in Jerusalem. The move has fueled Palestinian anger and drawn foreign criticism for undermining peace efforts. The Kensington Palace has asked for Meghan Markle's father to be given respect and understanding amid reports he has pulled out of attending his daughter's wedding to Prince Harry. Missing Cameroon athletes from the Commonwealth Games have been found in Sydney seeking asylum. The Daily Telegraph has reported that the group are consulting with the Refugee Advice and Casework Service in Sydney to determine if they can stay in the country.
Have you seen them?
I haven't.
No?
No.
Have you guys seen them?
It's not the first time that athletes have gone missing from the Com Games.
No, I know.
So it'll be something
that... It's fascinating, like where they've been and now they're seeking legal advice.
Yeah. You'd think they would have done that sort of from the onset, not...
I'm wondering if they trained all just to get into the country. That's something I'd love to know.
It's an interesting concept, I think, that they've done that just to come in to the country, whether or not they had any intentions of competing from the get-go.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, that is all we have time for today, Raquel. Remember, the LTYou is open discussion. We'd love to hear your opinions. Our Twitter handle, as always, is LTYou Radio, where you can discuss topics from today or raise issues with us. Thanks for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you again next week.
We'll see you for lunch on Tuesday.